Hey everyone, and welcome to a special extra Wednesday episode of Obscura Undead. And it is double special because we are actually premiering an album. We are premiering Walk Onto Sun's first full-length Walk Onto Sun. Yeah, and what makes this even extra more special is we are doing an early stream of the album over on obscuraundead.com. We'll link to the article in the description below. Or if you have followed the link on Facebook or wherever it was posted to this video, welcome, go back to the article because the early stream of the album is on there.
So this release, Walk Onto Sun, releases to the public on September 27th. It's on Icy Cold Records.
Yep, in cooperation with Manic Depression, who is releasing the digital as well as CD, and Phage Tapes, who is releasing the cassette.
Cool.
And Walk Onto Sun is the solo project of Ben Engritson. I'm terribly sorry if I mispronounced your last name.
Engritson.
No,
Engritson. And he's from LA.
Yep. And this is the third release and longest release to date.
It's a full-length album.
It's the full-length album. And it's very much in the vein with the previous Walk Onto Sun EPs, but it's more refined. So if I had to characterize this entire album, I would say that it's very minimal with wall of sound moments.
I did hear minimal, and so when I hear the wall of sound moments, I think of like shoegaze. So it felt like a very hazy, shoegazy, dark wavy post-punk.
I don't think that we can pin this album down to a single genre. No, because there are also tracks that still sound very industrial. Like I thought Cast and Pale was very industrial sounding.
Like Banging on Pots and Pans industrial sounding?
No, just like in the way the beats were.
Oh, okay.
And then there was some stuff towards the end of the album, like Grow Static and Feral Plains, which I thought was more EBM.
I didn't hear that at all.
Well, I don't listen to those genres.
No,
as much as
I
you do,
know.
But I definitely heard a lot of a lot of post-punk, like as a very strong backbone on this. Like
Yes.
kind of what I would have expected from like Public Image Limited, like way back.
Okay, so I get that there were tracks that had some nifty percussion.
I think that all of the album had some nifty percussion.
Like every time like a song would start, it gets into a groove where I didn't expect. And that cool ambient, I don't know, atmosphere, that wall of sound that we're talking about.
Right.
That sets the tone, and then you have these strong driving riffs and that percussion, and that's basically how each song on the album played out.
Like this really pulsing beat with like these kind of like deconstructed instrumentals like over each track, and it was
deconstructed for sure. And the first thing I was thinking of was like it almost sounded like they were recording through a haze. Like he might have been in like a studio or a stadium or something, and then like the mic was far away, so that you can barely hear the vocals. It's just so dense. Right.
I mean, but there's a lot of variety on this album. So one of the single tracks, which was available for the during the pre-order, Empty Vessel, definitely way more of a post-punk jam.
Yes.
Like it had that guitar line, and it had the more open vocals. It sounded like he was a bit closer.
So Empty Vessel threw me off because the tempo changes between the verses and the chorus, and
I liked it. It felt like a heartbeat. Like his vocals were so mellow over it, but then the tempo of the backbeat got so anxious. It felt like when you're trying to play it cool, but really you're freaking out.
Oh my god, that's a good way of putting it. I really liked Take the Statue Down.
Oh my god, that was one of my favorite tracks.
Because I don't hear the lyrics in this because it's so heavily distorted. But in Take the Statue Down, he's saying take the statue down. So it's so creepy. You've got that heavily distorted, heavily reverbed. There's like you can hear bass happening in there, but it's such a haunting tune. And it's just like, take the statue down.
Well, if you read through the Bandcamp description for the album, it does talk about that the album deals with political themes of alienation, degradation of facts, and the demise of the middle class.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That gets kind of political. But I can't hear all that in the lyrics, so I would love if I had this album in my hands, I could sit down with lyrics and unfold some of that.
Yeah, I also really like the track Feral Plains. I felt like it had like a spoken word quality. It had chanting. It had a very like cacophonous, like tribal, minimal sound that I thought was really, really cool. And then like the like lo-fi keys or whatever at the end kind of caught me off guard with what the song was going on before it. I really love the amount of just experimentation on this album.
And that is track 6. I really liked Cast in Pale.
That was also
I don't know what that means, but that's track 3. It was a dreary, moody, dark feel to it.
See, I felt
moody
that
and relaxing.
Track had like this kind of like deconstructed industrial sound to it.
Yes, like, but when like experimental industrial. So like
so it kind of
older.
Reminded me of a little bit of like when we were listening to Closed Mouth or Soft Kill.
Soft Kill, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
So it kind of reminded me a bit like that, which was really cool. Like I love hearing like artists take things you wouldn't expect or like do things you wouldn't expect and aren't afraid to like just be weird with it.
So he's like incorporating elements of all kinds of genres to make his own sound.
And like I can't pin the genre of this album.
That is also very Soft Kill. That is something that Soft Kill does.
Yes, that's true.
But yeah, those were the standout tracks, as well as Tension City.
Oh yes, Tension City was great too.
Tension City had some of that like retro claps or retro percussion in them, and it has a different energy from the other songs, I think.
But I felt like just overall what did bind the entire album together, even if all of the tracks sort of took a different inspiration on them, is that it all feels very, in general, despairing and hopeless and bleak.
Dreadful. Like, not in a bad way that the music is dreadful, but it gives you a sense of foreboding and dread.
Yeah, so it really tells you what it's like to be an American.
Yeah. Bleak.
Yes.
Bleak. Is that one of the words that they used on the Bandcamp poetry?
I'm not sure. There's a lot of words.
Oh my gosh, you're right. You're right.
But yeah, it was very bleak, and I really enjoyed this release.
Mood.
Oh.
It was great mood. Great job, Walk Onto Sun. If you'd like to check them out, you could go straight to their Bandcamp and you could pick up their older releases, because there's one from...
And their older releases from the last, I think, 2 years, they're still very experimental, but this album really refined it further. Oh, what did you think of the 2 remixes at the end of the album?
Not quite so sure. The first one was the sedated spheric remix
of Medicate, which is track 4 on
Medicate.
the album.
The spheric remix I liked a lot more.
I agree.
That was also on the industrial EBM kind of vein.
Yeah, see, those are the ones where I kind of got that like.
Oh, okay. But those are the remixes, so that's
true.
That's not really the band's original vision, but it is really cool hearing the song,
like a different idea.
Medicate,
of the song.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I always love remixes. So those are 2 remixes to close out the album, but very different from the slow melodic flow of the rest of the album.
Right.
What was your favorite track?
My favorite track, well, it was either Take the Statue Down or Empty Vessel.
For me, Take the Statue Down or Tension City.
Okay, good. So Take the Statue Down. Yeah. That's where we overlap.
Yeah, we get all the votes.
Best track.
Interesting. Very interesting track.
Awesome. Yeah, so check out the early stream of it on our Obscura Undead article on obscuraundead.com. Go check out Walk Onto Sun on Bandcamp. Pre-order the album and just enjoy it. It really is a very interesting piece, and we can't recommend it more. Yeah. All right.
That wraps it up.
Thanks for letting us premiere your album.
All right, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.